Hello there, thanks for joining me again. This is the only one Kenobi, only one. I am going through the entire vintage collection, so if you are new around here, subscribe. We're on Vintage Collection 63. This is episode 63 of the Quick Shot series. So yeah, this one in particular though has got a lot of meaning for me, this one, because this is one of the cards that I saw out in public that made me realise that the vintage collection even existed, because I'll remember exactly where I was. I was in Forbidden Planet and I was sort of looking through, and there was a load of cards on the shelf that were Phantom Menace ones. So I saw sort of, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Darth Maul, and I was looking at the packaging and it had this sort of racetrack round. I thought, that's so familiar. And I saw the Kenner logo and I thought, what are they doing? Really familiar, and that's what sucks people in. But then I came across this guy, and this card I obviously recognised from back in the day, because it hasn't changed. That's exactly as it was. And this is probably exactly what I would have done when I was in Forbidden Planet. I would have turned it over, taken it off the peg obviously first, seen that and thought, wow, because that figure I did have, obviously subconsciously I could remember the packaging. And that's how it hooks in adult collectors. The market is just ripe for people around my age. I'm sure younger people do collect it as well. Let me know in the comments if you are. But it's just an adult collecting market. Anyway, so moving on. So Keyan Farlander, I've got 3 variations. I'll show you what they all are. And this is the first one I obviously bought, because back when I first got him, I was opening stuff. Later years, I started collecting stuff carded. But anyway, the figure, as you can see, I have the helmet underneath. And if you stay tuned, I'll tell you a bit more about the character Keyan Farlander, who he is and what he can do. Because he wasn't Keyan Farlander in the 80s, he was just a wing pilot. Not a wing pilot, but an A-wing pilot. But I put his helmet underneath his arm because, as you can see there, he looks a bit daft, doesn't he? It looks like a mushroom on his head or something. It looks a bit big. But he's a really cool character. I like this guy. And he's got a little bit of force sensitivity about him, but we'll talk about that later and who he is. And is he canon or not anymore? Firstly, I'll show you a picture of who Keyan Farlander was supposed to be. Boom! That guy there in the briefing room is Keyan Farlander. So I want to know if he's canon or not anymore, because it's almost like he's expanded universe now, because he might not tie into any Disney comics books or anything like that. So anyway, so as I say, back in the 80s, he was just an A-wing pilot, but now they've given him... Oh my God, have I been saying A-wing pilot? I mean B-wing pilot. So he has been given an identity, which is nice, because it's always nice to introduce characters or whoever, but this is him, and that car back is, as I say, exactly the same as it was in the 1980s. And this is the other thing that hit me when I was in Forbidden Planet, that infamous day. I looked at the figure and I thought, wow, the quality of it compared to what I've ever seen anywhere else. I mean, not particularly just this one, but all of them, they all look so intricate, and I thought, wow, you could tell they were articulated as well. You could see all the hinges and stuff. But compared to how they were, it's just, I thought, what a cool line of figures. They're giving us something reminiscent of the past with something from the future. The most updated method of making a figure is there. And obviously I had bought other figures around about that time. I discovered the vintage collection. I was living in Spain. I'll just tell you another story. I was living in Spain, and I wasn't collecting or buying any figures around then. I hadn't bought any for ages, but I went into a Toys R Us in Spain, and I got a couple of Legacy Collection figures, and then it sort of dawned on me then how good figures had become in terms of articulation. The vintage collection line is basically the best they've ever made in terms of articulation, sculpting, and all of that put on classic car backs, so that's why they are premium figures. So if you're new to collecting, get into them. But this one was always affordable in my opinion. The 3 I have are the Revenge and 2 Returns. So after I bought this one and opened him, bye-bye Keyan, I got hold of this one first. I didn't fully realise when I bought it on eBay that it was the Canadian card, which has the multi-language in the name pill. All I wanted was a return. I didn't want Revenge, because I wanted all mine to be Return. How things changed. I've got Revenge, Return on everything now. But anyway, so back then, so then it always bugged me that, number one, it was punched. This one, it only cost me 11 quid, including postage, for God's sake. But anyway, and also I didn't like that in the end. So I thought, well, I must get myself another. And boom, I did. I got a Revenge one, which is unpunched, which is nice. And there you are. But this is the one that is more plentiful on eBay, or was when I was collecting and stuff. I don't really scour eBay as much as I did because I've got it all. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was still one of the more affordable figures in the vintage collection. But then when I saw this bad boy, I just handed my cash over to the seller on eBay. Well, by that I mean I just hit the buy now button because it was so rare that I see these ones. I don't know if it's different in America, but here in the UK, all you ever see if you type in BWing Pilot vintage collection, you'll just find tons of Revenge. But a return one that had the standard name pill, I thought, wow, I've got to get it. So I don't know what it cost me, but maybe double what it cost for this one. And it had the sticker one, which I like. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this has gone up in value. I just don't know. Things change, man. It's all supply, demand. But anyway, when I saw this one, I just thought, wow, I've never seen that. I've got to get it, and I did. So I've got 3 variants, as I've got 3 variants for the TIE Fighter, which is coming up. I think that's VC63. Stay tuned for that. 64 is Leia Slave, so stay tuned, subscribe. I'll be doing her next. Not literally, but she is the next figure in the line. She also has 3 variants. It's funny that, isn't it? She's got Revenge, standard pill, Return, standard pill, and Return or Revenge with the multi-language. Or maybe there's 4 variants. Maybe you can get a Revenge with the Canadian variant. I just don't know. So much to say on this figure. Oh, let me just show you the back of the cards very quickly and then we'll say goodbye. Stay with me. Stay tuned. Also, check out the rest of the series. I've got playlists up above in the tab. Have a look in the tab above. Look for playlists. I keep them very well updated. So every episode I've done in this series is there. They're almost the same. These 2 are very similar, the backs, and then that one has the obviously blatant Canadian thing. This one is different because the Revenge cards have that blurb there. You can freeze frame that if you'd like. I am a Jedi, like my father before me. So be it. Jedi. But anyway, here's the American or standard card back. I'm just doing this quickly just to wrap this up. I've spoken far too long. And then this one here, I don't like the backs of these. They're so ugly, aren't they? And then, please, nobody has ever got back to me about this. Does anybody know anything about this address? STL, Manchester. Is it a forbidden planet? I've looked up STL and that address and nothing comes up on Google. So I've got tons of figures with that sticker on the back. So they must be, you know, a collector store, comic store or something. I just don't know. Is anyone from Mancunian out there? Let me know. So there we go. That's them. That's Keyan Farlander. Nifty pilot. Oh, did I tell you about him? He was force sensitive, this guy, by all accounts. You see him... Oh my... Hello, welcome back. You see him in the briefing room. But from what I know about Keyan Farlander, he's force sensitive. And he was recruited swiftly by Luke into the Jedi Academy. So I think he may have even become a Jedi Knight, from what I know. However, I was just thinking about this, about force sensitivity. All pilots clearly have some sort of force sensitivity or can tap into the force. Don't forget, in episode 4, he says, "Man your ships, and may the force be with you." Back then, the force was easy to tap into. Anyone could do it. Then they did the midi-chlorian thing, and it was just exclusive to people who had certain blood. Rubbish. It's nice to think that anybody can tap into the force, as in anyone in their lifetime can tap into a bit of luck or something and do something good. Just look at Han's eyes in Solo. You know, when he's going through that cluster, he's trying to get out of the maelstrom or whatever they call it, to get out of Kessel, and he really focuses, doesn't he? That's him tapping into what force he has in his system. You know what I mean? So this guy certainly had a little bit of force sensitivity, and dare I say, Poe Dameron's got a little bit. You know, we all do. But except the only thing is, I can't levitate anything. I can't use the. Yes, I can. I'm just dragging that across the screen. I'm going to shut up now. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Stay tuned for the next episode. Slave Leia. Out.